Welcome to the Money Mindset and Habits podcast. Today, we're doing a deep dive, not just into, the budgets and spreadsheets, but something much deeper.
Yeah, we're talking about those beliefs about money, the ones that are often invisible, maybe picked up way back in childhood.
Exactly. And how they really, really shape our financial lives, our well-being, often without us having a clue.
It's like they're running in the background, kind of controlling things, these deeply ingrained assumptions.
Think about those common phrases, right? Money doesn't grow on trees.
Oh, yeah. Or rich people are greedy.
We can't afford that. That was a big one in my house.
Mm-hmm. They sound harmless, maybe, but they plant these seeds.
Yeah, seeds that can grow into, well, significant limitations later on.
So the idea today is to really unpack this. Where do these mindsets even come from?
Understand how they're actually affecting us as adults, financially speaking.
And most importantly, give you some, real practical tools to start changing them, taking back control.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. The origins. How do these beliefs form?
Well, like we said, it's mostly subconscious. It's not like you sit down and decide, okay, I'm going to believe money is scarce.
Right, you just sort of absorb it.
Exactly. Absorbed, not chosen.
Mm.
It happens through your upbringing. And interestingly, it doesn't really matter if your family was struggling or quite well off.
That's a good point.
Different situations, but powerful messages about money are always being sent, whether it's seeing arguments about bills.
Or maybe seeing spending used as, like, the main way to show affection.
Yeah, or even just hearing constantly that, just having the basics covered is good enough. That can subtly shape your aspirations.
It's the whole emotional atmosphere around money, isn't it? Not just the numbers. I had a friend, her family was comfortable, but her parents worried constantly.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, about losing it all. And now she has this deep-seated scarcity thing, even though objectively she's fine.
That's a perfect example. The anxiety gets internalized. Think about kids hearing parents fight about money. They pick up the stress, even if they don't get the details. Or the gift thing you mentioned. If gifts equal love, you might end up linking material things with emotional validation later on. It becomes an unconscious connection.
So these little repeated experiences, they build up, they create this sort of financial blueprint in our heads.
Pretty much, yeah.
Can you give us some more concrete examples? What are some of these common inherited mindsets we might be dealing with?
Sure. A really common one is, I'm just bad with money. People say it all the time.
Definitely. Like, it's a personality trait.
Right. But it's often just a learned story, maybe from past mistakes or watching someone else struggle. It's not inherent.
Okay, what else?
Another big one. Wealth is for other people.
Mm.
Like, it's just not in the cards for me.
That creates an invisible ceiling, doesn't it?
It really does. Or the idea that if I make more, someone else has less. That zero-sum thinking.
Yeah, the pie is only so big.
Exactly. And that can really stifle ambition. Even talking about money is rude. That keeps people from learning, from having important conversations.
Which is crucial for, partnerships and families.
Absolutely. And then there's the big one. Debt is just a part of life.
Yeah.
Accepting it as normal.
Oof. That can lead down a tricky path. Hearing them listed like that, it's quite eye-opening.
Yeah. They might feel really true, really deep down.
But what you're saying is they're mostly learned, not fundamental truths about us or about money.
That's the crucial point. In the vast majority of cases, these are learned perspectives. And the amazing thing is, what's learned can be unlearned. Recognizing that is step one.
Okay, that feels hopeful. So we see how powerful they are. Let's get practical. How do these mindsets actually, show up? How do they hold us back as adults?
Right. This is where you see the real world impact. Let's take that scarcity mindset, maybe from hearing, we can't afford that all the time.
Okay.
As an adult, even if you're earning a decent income, you might still have this nagging feeling of never enough.
Like you can't relax about money.
Exactly. And that feeling, it can sabotage things. You might hesitate to invest for the long term, or maybe put off making your life better, like moving house, even if you can afford it.
Or even asking for a raise.
Yes. Because deep down, there's this feeling of unworthiness, or that it's just not possible for you. It's like an invisible brake pedal on your finances.
Wow. So we end up recreating those old limitations, even when things are different now.
Precisely. Then there's emotional spending. We touch on this. If gifts were linked to love.
Right, the subconscious connection.
Yeah. So as an adult, you might find yourself spending money to cope with, say, loneliness or anxiety, or just wanting to feel connected.
The purchase isn't really about the thing itself.
No, it's about chasing that temporary emotional relief, that feeling you're trying to buy.
Yeah, I think we can all relate to that little dopamine hit from buying something new, can't we? Even if it fades fast.
Absolutely. And then the third big one is avoidance.
Avoidance, how does that work?
Well, if money was a source of stress, maybe conflict, or even shame in your childhood,
Oh, okay.
a really common adult reaction is just to avoid dealing with your finances altogether.
Like not opening bank statements or
Oh.
putting off budgeting.
Exactly that, ignoring it. Because engaging with it triggers those old uncomfortable feelings.
Yeah.
It feels safer to just not look.
So your brain is trying to protect you from discomfort?
Yeah.
But it ends up preventing you from actually taking control.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
And here's the core issue, I think. So many people think they have money problems, not enough income, too much debt, whatever.
Right, external things.
But often, when you dig deeper, the root cause isn't just the numbers. It's these limiting belief systems driving the behavior. It's the story in your head about the numbers.
That's a huge reframe. It shifts things from just practical money management to the psychology underneath it all.
It really does. And hey, if these insights are hitting home for you and you want more practical tips, more strategies to really get a handle on your finances and build better habits,
Yeah.
we definitely want to encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's called Finance Tips. We share loads of stuff there to help you on this journey.
Great suggestion. Okay, so we've got a good picture now of where these beliefs come from, the negative ways they can play out. But the big question, the empowering one, is what can we actually do about it? Can we change these deep patterns?
Yes, that's the best part. Because they're learned, they absolutely can be unlearned and actively reshaped. It takes awareness, effort, a bit of structure.
It sounds like work, but worthwhile work.
Totally. Think of it like you're becoming the author of your own new, more empowering money story.
I like that. Okay, so chapter 1, where do we start rewriting?
The first and maybe the most powerful step is just identifying those old scripts, the ones running in the background.
So consciously digging them up.
Yes. Take some real time, sit down maybe with a notebook, and actually write down the specific phrases, the warnings, the attitudes about money you heard over and over growing up.
Really recall them.
Exactly. And then look at them honestly. Ask yourself, do I really believe this today based on my own life?
Is this actually helping me or is it holding me back?
Right. And where did this even come from? Was it fact or just something repeated?
Just bringing those subconscious thoughts out into the open. That feels huge already, like turning on a light.
It's incredibly impactful. So once you've identified some of these limiting beliefs, what's next?
Okay, step 2.
Step 2 is consciously replacing them. For each limiting belief you wrote down, you actively formulate and write down a new, empowering counterbelief.
So swapping out the old negative programming with a positive affirmation.
Kind of,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's more than just positive thinking. It's choosing a new truth that reflects the financial reality you want to create.
Can you give us some examples of that reframing?
Sure. Let's say you identified money is the root of all evil.
Okay, a classic.
A more nuanced, empowering replacement could be something like, money is a tool. It magnifies the person using it. It can do great good.
I like that. It takes the judgment out.
Exactly. Or if the old script was, there's never enough, or we can't afford nice things, you could reframe that as, I am capable of creating more value and income. I can build abundance. Or I deserve to enjoy the results of my hard work.
It shifts the focus to possibility and capability. What about talking about money is rude?
Ah, good one. You could replace that with open, honest talk about money strengthens relationships and leads to better decisions. See? You're choosing a different perspective.
Okay, I get it. Identify, then replace with a chosen truth. What's step 3?
Step 3 is re-educate yourself actively. Most of us didn't get a great financial education growing up, right?
Definitely not comprehensive, no.
So it's crucial to take ownership of that now. Dive into books, listen to podcasts like this one, hopefully.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. Follow people you trust. Maybe find a mentor who has a healthy relationship with money. Fill in those knowledge gaps.
Any specific book recommendations to start?
Oh, sure. Some great foundational ones are The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, Ramit Sethi's I Will Teach You to Be Rich, or Your Money, or Your Life. They offer fantastic frameworks.
Great. So it's about becoming an active learner, not just a passive recipient of old ideas.
Precisely. Which leads nicely into step 4. Practice money mindfulness.
Mindfulness. Around money. How does that work?
It's about bringing non-judgmental awareness to your actual spending habits and your feelings around money. Start tracking where your money goes.
Not to beat myself up about it.
No, absolutely not. Just observe, like a curious scientist studying your own behavior. Ask yourself, why did I buy this? What was I feeling right before I spent that money?
Connecting the spending to the emotion behind it.
Exactly. Understand the triggers, the underlying needs you might be trying to meet through spending. That awareness is gold. It's the first step to making more conscious choices.
Okay, understand the why, not just the what. Makes sense. And step 5.
Step 5 is take one bold action.
Bold action. Like what?
Something tangible that directly challenges one of your old limiting beliefs. Something that proves to yourself that you can make changes.
Give me an example.
It could be finally making that call to negotiate a bill you've been putting off. Or canceling a subscription you don't really use but felt weird about stopping. Or setting up that automatic transfer to savings you keep meaning to do.
So it doesn't have to be massive.
No. The size isn't the main point. The point is taking intentional action that steps outside your old comfort zone, your old belief pattern. It reinforces the new story. It tells your brain, see, I could do things differently.
That's really powerful, providing yourself with evidence that you're not stuck.
Exactly. You're not your past. You're not those inherited beliefs. You have the power right now to write a new financial story, one action at a time.
That is such an encouraging way to look at it, a clear roadmap for change. Thanks for breaking that down.
My pleasure. It's important stuff.
It really is. And that kind of brings us towards the end of our deep dive for today on the Money Mindset and Habits podcast. We've covered a lot about understanding and, crucially, rewriting those inherited money beliefs.
Yeah, and if this conversation sparked something for you, if you found it valuable, we'd honestly really appreciate it if you'd leave a review for the show.
It helps other people find it, and maybe share this deep dive with someone you know who might benefit from thinking about their own money story.
Definitely. And of course, hit subscribe so you don't miss our future conversations. We're always exploring the emotional side of money and how to build those lasting positive habits.
And speaking of future deep dives, next time we've got a really inspiring real-world listener story lined up. It's called How One Couple Paid Off $40,000 of Debt Without Earning More.
Ooh, that sounds fascinating. Lots of practical takeaways there, I bet.
For sure. So until then, what's the final thought we want to leave people with?
I think it's this. Remember that your financial situation isn't just about how much you make. It's so deeply connected to what you believe about money, about yourself, about what's possible.
Your beliefs shape your habits.
And your habits shape your future. But you get to choose the beliefs. It's never too late to start rewriting.
Absolutely. And one last reminder, for more actionable tips, visuals, step-by-step guides to help you put all this into practice, do check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Finance Tips.
Thank you so much for listening to the Money Mindset and Habits podcast.